Oh, hello. We're back. Did you miss me? I thought we'd come back and we'd start to look at Proverbs. It's probably one of those books that we don't always know how to access, so I thought we'd go through probably just one chapter and see how we do. The Bible is full of different kinds of literature. There's lots of narrative. We love narrative, don't we? Stories, and that's easy to read. But there's lots of other literature too. So apocalyptic literature, I'm not going to say that too many times, it always ties my tongue. But books like Revelation, Daniel, Ezekiel, they feature symbols and images and visions, and it's quite obscure and interesting. You also get prophecy. There's also the law, or you can call them the history. In the Old Testament, there's the Gospels and the New Testament. There's the New Testament letters, sometimes called epistles. And then throughout the Bible, there are poetry, there's songs, there's laments, and there's also wisdom, which focuses in on some of the books, but also is found in other parts of the Bible as well. So wisdom, you see that in Proverbs, you see that sometimes in Psalms, you see that in Job, Lamentations, and other places as well. So wisdom, but it's a strange genre. It's not always easy to know how to deal with it and how to understand that. So I thought I'd try and just give you a taster in these sessions, and possibly some tools to help you access it, because actually reading through Proverbs can be such a blessing, really helpful. So please do have a look, find in your Bibles Proverbs. If you read the first 7 verses of the book, Proverbs chapter 1 verses 1 to 7, and then come back and we'll have a think about it. Okay, so the book of Proverbs is mostly written by Solomon. There are other authors. If you read through, you'll come across them. But Solomon writes a lot of this book, and he tells us at this beginning what they're good for. They're good for gaining wisdom and instruction. And who doesn't need that? We all need that, don't we? We're crying out for that. I remember when this COVID-19 thing first started, there was some guy on the radio saying people are crying out for experts to tell them what to do. And I think that's the same in life. We want to know what to do, how to live. We want wisdom, we want understanding, we want guidance. We badly need that. We often pray to God, Lord, guide me, give me wisdom, and that's good, we can pray that. But in truth, He's actually already given us lots of godly guidance, godly wisdom for us to draw on. He's given us these good principles to guide us in our lives. Principles is a key word there, because what we need to understand about Proverbs they are principles and not promises. So it's not, if you do Proverb A, you get result B. It's not mechanical in that way. It's a bit similar to if I was to say, look, if you smile at someone, they're probably going to smile back at you, but it's not a guarantee. So the principle is you smile and you probably get a smile back, but it's no guarantee. It's important to grasp the difference between a promise and a principle. So Proverbs chapter 4 verse 10, listen, my son, accept what I say, and the years of your life will be many. Now, is that always the case? Does every person who accepts what God says, do they all live long lives? Well, no, they don't. But it's a principle. In general, if you follow the wise guidance of God through these Proverbs and through His word in the other places, they will steer the course of our lives in the right direction, away from danger, away from sin, from bad practice, from bad company, from bad habits and other things that will generally be bad for us. So following these advice, this wisdom, it will prolong our lives. And it might even be that God is saying, you listen to these things, I will bless you with long life. It's not a guarantee, but in general, He may do that. So, if we were to claim this is a promise, and say, no, it's a promise. God said that, and that's what He means. We will get confused. We'll end up like Asaph in in Psalm 73. He was suffering, and he was looking at the wicked. They were all having a lovely time, and he was suffering. And he thought, well, this doesn't make sense. God says that according to conventional wisdom, if you follow Him, the righteous will be blessed, and the wicked will get their comeuppance. But that didn't seem to be working out in reality, and that's because they're misunderstanding how to apply these principles and taking them as promises. See, the truth is, sometimes the wicked and the righteous don't get their ultimate end in this life. Sometimes it looks like they're being blessed or not being blessed, and you might think, well, I don't understand it, but ultimately they will get what is promised to them. They will get punished, they will get rewarded, but it's not always the case in this life. Sometimes the rewards or punishment will happen in eternity. So these proverbs are God-inspired principles to guide us into good and godly, satisfying life, a way of living that is good and satisfying and pleasing to God, rather than just rigid promises that if I do X and that, and then it must give me that. That's not how to understand these things at all. As you read through Proverbs, if you do, you'll notice there's recurring themes and words, important words like knowledge and wisdom. What's knowledge? Well, it's knowing the facts, the truth, the reality of the situation. It even extends as far as knowing what to do about the situation. And I think we're getting into the territory of wisdom there, but knowledge is seeing the situation and knowing what needs to be done. Wisdom crosses over that, holds hands with that. It is knowing, not only knowing the facts, but knowing what to do about that, and when to do it, and how to do it in the right way. It's making, and wisdom is also making the choice to do it, because you can know the facts about something, you can know what you need to do about it, doesn't mean you're going to do it. Wisdom is taking that knowledge and doing it, and actually putting it into practice. So, illustrating that, we all have knowledge of the existence of COVID-19, so we've got that knowledge there. We know what we are meant to do about that. We're to wash our hands and practice social distancing and the rest of it. Wisdom is putting that into practice. So it's saying, actually, right now, I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to go there. I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't go into that house. And actually putting what you know into practice at the right time. So wisdom, knowledge is seeing the facts and the situation and knowing what needs to be done. Wisdom is dealing with it in the right and godly way. So, where do we start then? Well, verse 7 tells us the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Why? Because without an appreciation that there is a God, your whole way of thinking is going to be built on the wrong premise. Your whole foundation is going to be wrong. You're going to be heading in the wrong direction from the word go. But it's not just knowing that there's a God. It's having the right attitude towards Him. It's having a relationship with Him, having an appreciation for who He is. It's appreciating that He is the Lord Almighty. It's knowing that He is our Creator and we are answerable to Him. It's realising that He does know better than me. I mean, I'm, fairly intelligent, but compared to God, I've got nothing. It's realising that He speaks the truth, that it's not me that defines what is right and wrong. He defines what is right and wrong because He's God. It's realising that He alone is all-powerful. It's knowing that He holds all of life and death in His hands. He holds the universe in His hands. He holds the future in His hands. It's realising that He is so great, He is worthy of our praise and adoration and our obedience. You see, without a proper understanding of who God is and who we are in relation to Him, we're not just going to be playing by the wrong rules, we're going to be playing the wrong game completely. We're going to think we're the boss, that we're in charge, and we're not. So the beginning, the foundation of knowledge that we need to live wisely is to know the living God, to know Him, and to realise that whatever else I do in my life, I can't ignore Him. I am not God. and it's not my rules that count. My life is in his hands, and therefore I need to listen to him. I need to respect him and orientate my life around him and what he says. That's knowledge, knowing who he is and what needs to be done. Wisdom dictates what I do with that knowledge. Then it's, well, am I going to obey him? Am I going to listen to him? Am I going to respect him and treat him carefully? Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Fools, don't want to know about this. They don't fear God. They think they know best. But the wise person will stop and behold God and begin to act and live accordingly. Fear can be a good thing. It stops us doing silly things and keeps us in the right place and breaking the rules. You wouldn't go into an electricity sort of generator room or something and start waving about a big metal rod, and that would just be foolish. Fear would keep you from doing something silly, and when we come to God, we need to respect him, realize who he is. He holds the whole universe together. You need to respect him and listen to him. Anyway, nearly done. It's all about introductions. We're probably going to be looking through Proverbs chapter 3 in these times, but since we are doing introductions, the wise response to this all-powerful, all-seeing, holy God, it is first and foremost to throw yourself on his mercy in Jesus. That's wisdom, because Jesus is the way, the truth and the life. If you haven't got Jesus, it doesn't matter about anything else. It doesn't matter how clever you are, how accomplished you are, or anything else. Without Jesus, you've got nothing. No hope, no salvation, no future. So that's the beginning. If you want to be wise, then realise who God is, who you are in relation to him, and realise you need Jesus. He makes peace for you with God. According to 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 15, the scriptures make us wise for salvation through faith in Christ Jesus. And even Proverbs do that. They point us ultimately to Jesus, our salvation. Well, I look forward to exploring some of these with you throughout the days, whenever I manage to record one of these things. Hopefully see you next time. Bye.